everything which looks too good is not true.
One night I was sleeping and my bike got stolen.
The first day you think, oh, this will never going to work for us.
He was gonna drop me to the hotel and kind of stopped in a dark alley before the hotel. There was no one else and wanted to rip me off.
I am back in Ho Chi Minh City in the south of Vietnam, and in this video we're going to talk about safety while traveling in Vietnam. So after seeing this video you get quite a bit of an idea what it is like to travel in Vietnam, how to behave, how to stay out of trouble, so you got a smooth journey through Vietnam on your next trip to Southeast Asia.
I'm kind of trying to live here. I have been here on and off for 2 years. I just came back from my European trip, so I'm still acclimating.
How come you come here so often, and how come you want to move here for a longer period?
Well, in 2022, it was just after Corona, I decided to change my life, move to Asia.
Okay.
I spent a few years in Bali.
Yeah.
And Bali is very close from here, so I came here to enjoy the city life. Bali Island can get a bit more claustrophobic sometimes, and then I kind of liked it here, so it's...
Gotcha. So you're only staying in Ho Chi Minh City then, or are you traveling around as well? Or have you?
So far, because it's so hot and I'm also working every day, I'm very lazy to travel. But
okay, fair enough.
I want to go around.
The topic is basically, is Vietnam safe to travel?
Well, it's as safe as you are, I guess,
okay,
as in every city in the world. Compared to Asian places I have been, I think it's relatively safe. Still, you need to understand, after living here for a few months, that you need to be aware of the Asian scam culture, because you can sometimes be scammed in the situations where you're really not ready to be scammed, like when you feel relaxed and happy and nice,
Yeah.
And this is still happening here, so in that sense it's never safe.
Okay.
But there is no terrorism and there is no huge public organized crimes happening, so it's in that sense it's safe. The traffic is another issue. You have to be very careful, especially if you are here enjoying your time, having a couple of drinks. You need to know how to cross the road. You need to know not to sit on random bikes on the street. Common sense, which sometimes people forget, especially in this district, Bui Bien, which is not for locals, it's for tourists, right? So it's easy to forget, and they know how to make you forget, to take the advantage of you.
So how can people, because I actually recommend people to check out District 1, not this street in particular, because I don't think this is representable for Ho Chi Minh City at all. But what should people really be careful of, and how to stay out of trouble, how to stay away from the scams?
Keep your stuff with you, all the time. Keep your locks closed, as not me doing now. Don't talk to strangers. And
no, that's not what you mean, right? I think talk to strangers, I think.
Be open for a communication, but don't believe everything what you have been told. If you have too many drinks, be sure that you have a friend or two with you.
Okay.
And everything which looks too good is not true. And that applies here a lot. So if you get a massage offer which is very, very cheap, then you should already understand that you will pay the price later.
Okay. What should I pay for a proper massage for an hour?
Well, never choose the massage from the street, especially if you don't know the area already. And book it in advance, do your Google search. And you will be safe. And if the place is accepting credit card payments, I think you are even a bit more on the safer side. When you are really first time in this part of Asia, that some people might feel like they are following you or watching you or trying to touch you or sell you something, right? But after a few days you start understanding that they actually don't mean anything bad, most of the time.
I don't want to make this video to scare people. I actually want people to come over to Vietnam and experience Vietnam.
Absolutely. You should come.
Yeah. That's also my message. Come to Vietnam. Be aware of certain things. So you say scams are things. Traffic can be dangerous as well, especially after a few drinks.
Don't start driving your own bike on the first day. You need to practice first. And it's really, the traffic is so idiotic here that it takes time to get used to it. That actually it's very friendly traffic. People take into account of each other moves if you're already in the flow of traffic. But first time you need to learn to read the signs in the traffic. You need to learn to go across the street and don't be so scared on the street, because then you are going to scare off everybody else as well, and accidents happen. Traffic can be tricky, but it's a very funny part of getting used to the life in Ho Chi Minh.
Can you think of one other thing that we should be aware of? Something, let's say, behavior-wise?
I'm here and single. Dating is very difficult here.
Okay.
Yes, so I think it's like it's a difference, the cultural difference of being emotionally available or not. And here people have a lot of family, cultural, religious influences connected to dating. You should take time, be very patient. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks to actually meet, and then it takes 2 hours to actually start talking. So it's just one side which I consider is like a self-learning lesson for me.
This is the first time, and we're here for 3.5 weeks now.
3.5 weeks. You started in
Hanoi.
Hanoi. Basically, after your experiences, how was it?
We really, really liked it.
Yeah?
It was a total explosion of all your senses. your sight, the noise, the taste, the smell. I think I like the most Ninh Binh, Tam Kok, a little bit on the countryside, and it's a little bit quiet. But you have to change it with the vibrant cities. But I really like Ninh Binh.
We're also talking about safety in Vietnam. Did you have any concerns beforehand? And was it?
Totally safe, I think so. Maybe this street, but the rest you can walk where you want.
Yeah, and this street you're saying because?
Maybe the pickpockets, but I don't know.
There was a guy came to us and he said, watch out, there are a lot of pickpockets, but we didn't see anything.
But that's the only place in Vietnam, basically.
I don't know, we really felt very safe.
Yeah.
Very safe.
Were you skeptical beforehand, before coming here?
No.
We have traveled a lot in Asia, and it's never a problem.
Never a problem, huh?
No.
So is there something that we should be careful of? Or I try to prepare people on their first trip as well. What have you learned on your trip?
I think maybe the food will give you a little bit of problems in the stomach. But that's only a couple of days. You have to adjust to the food, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
And when you cross the street, I think you must watch out.
the first day you think, oh, this will never going to work for us, but now we're just crossing the streets.
So don't be scared, come over and...
No,
Yes,
it's
yes,
really,
yes.
we will be back.
I'm happy to hear this. Is there something that you did not like or something that happened on your trip that you wish that did not happen?
We did a couple of stops in Dong Hoi, and that was not very touristic. That's okay, but then you can't find any English menu, so it's a very big surprise what you order.
But what you eat had eyes.
But that could be like the excitement of adventure.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. We eat it all.
I've been here 6 weeks and it was my first time in Vietnam.
How was your trip?
It was great. It was a fun experience. So I started in Ho Chi Minh like mid-March, and then I went very fast to the north, took a lot of sleeper buses and went to Ha Giang, where I volunteered for 2 weeks in a hostel. Then I went to Sapa, I volunteered there in a homestay for like 8 days, and then went a little bit south again, and now back in Ho Chi Minh.
You're going back home to Switzerland?
No, I'm going to India after.
Oh wow, okay. Have you been before?
Yes, a lot of times. Yeah.
But this was your first time here in Vietnam. We're talking about safety actually, specifically. How safe did you feel all the time?
I felt super safe. Yeah, honestly, like up until yesterday, there was nothing that made me feel not safe at all. Like besides maybe like the traffic or like the motorbikes, but I mean that's all of Southeast Asia, so it's not a very Vietnam specific thing. But like as of traveling as a woman alone, like was no problem. No worries.
I'm happy to hear that. I actually know this already a little bit, but for the viewers who never heard anything about Vietnam, is this actually a safe country? You think so?
Yes, definitely.
Is there something that was not so safe? Or you mentioned that up until yesterday, what happened?
Yesterday, I almost got scammed by like a Grab driver, like the taxi motorbike guy. He was gonna drop me to the hotel and like kind of stopped in a dark alley before the hotel. There was no one else and wanted to rip me off, like take way too much money.
He stopped at a dark alley and then what happened?
And then so I got off the motorbike, but he still had my suitcase on the motorbike. Actually, there was a kind of a misunderstanding before. Like I got off the bus and he just kind of like grabbed my suitcase and was like, "Oh, I'll bring you to the hotel." And I was like, not sure if it was part of the whole bus thing and he would just bring me back to the hotel or if I had to pay for it.
Okay.
And when I asked him, like, is it free? Like, do I have to pay? He just said yes, yes, yes. And then we went, and then he dropped me off in this dark alley and was like, oh, I need 100,000. I was like, no way. Like, it was 2 minutes motorbike ride.
Okay, okay.
And so I was like, no, like, I'll pay you 10K, but not more. And he was like, no, okay, 50. And I'm like, no way. He kind of got pissed, and I got like more loud. And then luckily another guy on the motorbike came and stopped like right next to us because he realized there's something going on.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed my suitcase, gave him some change I had, and like left. And the guy in the other motorbike just came with me, and I left like that. It was okay, but
so another local guy actually saved you out of the situation.
Yeah, that was the only time. And honestly, I was stupid. Like usually you don't get on a motorbike without asking for the price first, and like it was just dumb.
Let's take a lesson out of this, also for the viewers. Like, don't just hop on any motorbike. I can imagine that, especially in a touristic area like this, people should be a little bit more aware than anywhere else. Also, I'm from the Netherlands. In Amsterdam, there's a lot of scams happening there as well. You have to be, you know.
Exactly. You don't need to be far from home for scams to happen. Like, it's nothing.
So overall, you're saying it's super safe. Also, as a lady, single, traveling. How about India? Can you compare that a little bit? I've heard some stories here and there that are maybe not so pleasant.
Honestly, India, I feel like home there. I love it. There's some regions where it's more sketchy than others, of course, but I would never say that overall India is not safe. Like most of the time it is, and it just depends where you are and at what time of the day. Like of course in maybe New Delhi you wouldn't walk alone in the night, but like South India or even the Himalayas, I've always felt really safe and the people are super nice.
Can you compare the people, like the Indian people with the Vietnamese people? Like what's the biggest difference there?
I think the Indians are much warmer. They really like try to be friends with you. Like it's so easy to be friends with Indians. Whereas with Vietnamese people, it's like they're really friendly and they're super nice, but the connection doesn't really happen. Like at least not that fast. So I'm kind of missing that a little bit in Vietnam. Like the contact to locals.
Thank you for your honesty about this one. Is there something that you, well, that you maybe did not dislike this, but that's what you're missing that a little bit. But is there something that you dislike about Vietnam, or something that you're like, ooh, I wish that was different, or people should be aware of this?
Well, for me personally, I think the tourism is just kind of going in a direction that I don't like. Like they're just destroying a lot of nature for tourism, and I feel like there's zero rules like protecting the nature here. Like I don't know, a lot of people are not aware maybe, but in Katba on the island, they're just like filling a whole bay with like cement, just the whole bay, filling it up and like building hotels and malls. And like that's something like maybe in Europe it's just unimaginable.
I just want to challenge that thought a little bit, because I'm with you also, and I'm like, oh my god, there was so beautiful mountains and forests are cutting down. But on the other hand, in Europe, before, like many hundreds of years ago, they also cut the forests and now turned into cities. So on the other hand, they are just developing at the moment.
Yes, but they could learn from our mistakes, right? Like that was not a good thing what we did in Europe. It's not like an example to follow, because the nature in Vietnam is amazing, but also with like the pollution and the construction, and at this rate where it's going, I feel like maybe more and more tourists will just not see the point anymore in coming, because what is there to see? Like they're just destroying it.
But it's still beautiful. Like, would you recommend?
Yeah, it's still beautiful. Of course. Now it's still good.
Can you tell us a little bit about your best experience? You told me you missed a little bit of connection. Can you tell me about your best experience that you had with a local person here?
So I think it was my volunteering in Sapa, where I stayed with a family in a homestay in the mountains, and the lady, like the mom of the family, was just the sweetest. Like it was really nice. She made amazing food. Like we went hiking together, and it was really the best. I think the best experience.
Is there a place that people cannot miss?
Sapa and Dalat, which was like really cool weather, amazing. Like not as hot as other places, and Ninh Binh was beautiful.
It's my first time in Vietnam, but it's been 3 months. To answer the question if it's safe, it's quite safe, but it depends on what you do. I had two incidents.
Two incidents?
So the first one is check your visa. look at your visa when it ends. It ended and it just expired like for 1 day, so I had a big trouble with everything. Second, I do a lot of camping, so I sleep outside.
All right, okay.
Yeah, and I sleep in a hammock. And one night I was sleeping and my bag got stolen.
Where were you sleeping?
Da Nang.
Well, like in a park or something?
Yeah, like in a park in the middle of the city, so not the wisest choice.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? Like, what's the best place you've been to?
Sudong Cave. It's like the biggest cave in the world.
Been here 3 months. How is that possible, like visa-wise? Because you said your visa was expired?
Yeah, I overstayed. I didn't look at my visa, I just forgot. That was very dumb.
And now?
And now I'm in a lot of paperwork. And the paperwork is super long. 1 month to wait for the paperwork. So I waited 1 month.
They don't let you out of the country now? You have to fill in your paperwork?
Yeah, I have to stay and I don't know what to do now. I cannot go home now. I cannot. It's been 3 weeks since I wait to go home. I missed my flight.
Way.
Yeah.
You stay here in Ho Chi Minh then, or what are you doing?
Now I bought a bike, like a bicycle. I travel around like that while waiting for my visa.
Do you have a job in Canada? Or?
I'm a student.
Okay.
Yeah. I study in adventure tourism.
What's your best experience with the Vietnamese people?
Well, because I was hitchhiking a lot before in the north, and the people they're awesome. They let me stay at their house for free, and they give me food and everything. So I think the people, they're so nice.
So you've been hitchhiking and then you end up at people's home?
Anywhere. They're interested in what you're doing because in small village, they don't see a lot of foreigners. They see less tourists, so they're happy to see you.
And it's also safe in the countryside, let's say.
Yeah, a lot. And it's beautiful.
So people who are a little bit afraid of going to Vietnam, also because it's maybe a communist country, people are afraid of this as well?
It doesn't impact your... If you're a tourist, it doesn't impact at all. Except everything is cash. Like if you just have cards, like my cards were stolen, and I could not go to the ATM, so that was a big problem. So I have cash on me.
When your bag got stolen, did you go to the police?
Yeah, but it's not the best. I woke up at like 3 in the morning, I saw my bag was stolen, I ran to the police station, they said to come back at 9. So my bag was already far when I came back. But
What was in the bag?
all my equipment, so camping stuff and like
no way.
a journal I was writing.
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah, that's the most.
Yeah.
Like the object, it's okay, I can buy some more. But
So what did the journal, like this is gonna be just a shot in the wild, but what's the journal look like? Maybe we find it back.
It's beige and little. Inside there's photo of me.
Is this something that we should look out for, safety-wise? Like I can imagine traffic can be a bit dangerous.
I did a lot of motorcycle too.
Okay.
And try to not do it too much because a lot of people die. Like it happens a lot. I saw dead people on the road.
You saw dead people on the road? Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen often, but it happens.
No, it does happen. I hear it also sometimes that and especially if you're foreign, you're not used to the traffic, and then you make accidents. The locals don't benefit from this, and you don't benefit from it either. So, stay out of traffic as much as possible. You're gonna have to
take the bus.
Take the bus.
Yeah.
There you go. Even if that's scary as well. Maybe.
Or stay on the little roads.
Any other safety concerns?
Look out on how much you're gonna pay for things.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna pay a lot more for things that shouldn't be that price, but
Familiarize yourself with how much it roughly costs.
Reddit is a good option.
Okay.
When I have a question, I go there.
Reddit.
And and it's so helpful.
Conclusion: is Vietnam safe for you to travel to? I think it's a very safe country. Just keep your wits about you, like anywhere else in the world, really. Hopefully, after seeing this video, you got triggered to come and visit Vietnam. Thank you all for watching till the very end. I'd like to say from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, bye for now and stay jam.